Hey everyone, Patrick here, and as of today, I am 8 weeks on testosterone. I don't have a whole lot to really update on. It's a beautiful day, so I decided to make the video outside. I figured just kind of show, I guess I've had a little bit of more muscle development. I feel like I've had a lot more on my shoulders here. Yeah, I guess you can really see it there. Um, yeah, so I think my shoulders and back have gotten a lot more. I've been really focusing on working my lats and my back and I guess my shoulders a little bit. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot to update. I feel kind of greasy, and I feel like I might need to start showering more often than I usually do. I usually shower every other day or so. But I just showered yesterday, and I feel like I need to shower again. So those are really the only updates I have. But I wanted to respond to something that I read the other day on Tumblr. And it was a quote. I don't remember who said it or wrote it. And I don't remember what exactly the words were. But I can kind of give an idea of that and a few other things that I've also seen recently. And part of it was I feel like I've seen a lot of things that say to trans people and various people in general, but what I've seen a lot has been geared more towards trans people. And much of that is things along the lines of you're brave for being who you are and you're wonderful for existing and things like that. And I feel like the saying that someone is brave for being who they are, I feel like that's very true. I feel like it does take a lot of courage to be who you are and to present as you feel inside and to be vulnerable enough to be able to show the world who you are. But what I read the other day said something more along the lines of every day you walk in your body is a sign of defiance or a sign of activism. And that kind of struck me a little bit, and so I wanted to think about that and reflect on that more. Because I feel like it's definitely true. I feel like it is brave to be who you are, and I feel like I am lucky and I am incredibly grateful that I have a community that's supportive enough that I can, for the most part, safely show who I am and be who I am and not have to constantly worry about my own personal safety with that. And I know for some people it's not the case, and so I think it's brave, first of all, accepting who you are, but then also being able to present as who you are. Even if you are in a safe environment, it takes a lot of bravery to accept that and to share that with other people in your life. But the idea of being an activist for existing and for just being myself, I feel like that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I feel like this isn't something that I chose to do. Me taking testosterone, me openly presenting as I feel inside, me simply walking down the street, that isn't an act of defiance. I'm not an activist for just walking down the street, I'm just existing. And for some people, for some people, being who they are involves being active and being defiant towards this system that's imposed upon us that says, in a lot of cases, first of all, that we shouldn't exist. And then second of all, that we shouldn't be vocal about our existence and we shouldn't present as who we are. We should just keep it down below. But for me, I feel like this isn't my life. My life isn't trans. It just happens to be a part of me. And I personally, I don't generally identify as a trans male. For me, I'm just a guy, and that's just who I am. And I know for some people, that's not the case. People identify in many, many different ways. But for me, the idea that I'm an activist for existing, or that every day I live as who I'm supposed to be, is an act of defiance. I feel like for something to be an act of defiance, that's a conscious effort that you make to make a point, or to even subtly make a point. And that's not what I'm doing. There are many ways in which I do, I guess, act defiantly against the system. There are many ways in which I would consider myself an activist, but me existing and being who I am is not one of them. And along the lines with that, some of the other things I've seen, especially saying, like, you are wonderful for being trans, or you, I mean, I think there are some that say, like, it's wonderful that you exist. And so, in that sense, I can kind of take both sides of it, where I think it is wonderful that people can exist as they want to exist. But I think saying that it's wonderful that trans people exist, and saying that it's, I don't know, that you're wonderful because you're trans, there are a lot of things that kind of edge on that side of things. And for me, that just doesn't rub me the right way, because I'm not wonderful because I'm trans. I believe I'm a wonderful human being, and I feel like there are a lot of things about me that make me that way. And I feel like that's the case for everyone. But for me, being trans isn't what makes me wonderful. And I don't feel like people should be happy that I exist just because I'm trans. Perhaps saying that it's wonderful that you have the courage to exist in the way that you want to, I think that would be another story. But that's just how I felt about the things that I've been reading recently. And if you have any comments, if you want to engage in a discussion with this, I would be more than happy to. I would love to hear back what you have to say. So go ahead and shoot it down in the comments. I'll put my Tumblr link below. You can send me an ask on there, whether you want to say hi or ask anything. I'm plenty happy to talk. So I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend, and I hope you have a great start to your week. See ya.